Welcome back to the channel, Movie Splash. Today's recap is about a 2020 action anime series named Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Spoiler ahead, watch out and have fun. Episode 1. Tanjiro Kamado supports his family by selling charcoal in the local town as they enjoy a joyful and serene life in the snowy highlands. His younger sister, Nezuko Kamado, who has started to change into a demon herself, is the only member of his family still standing when he arrives home one day to discover his whole family dead as a result of a demon attack. Tanjiro makes every effort to protect Nezuko while Demon Slayer Gayu Tomioka threatens to slay her. He is astounded by Nezuko's ability to repress her demonic inclinations and defend her brother, and he is also encouraged by Tanjiro's potential. As a result, he chooses to spare her life and instructs him to seek for Seikonji Urokodaki on Mount Sagiri. Before leaving, Tanjiro and Nezuko bury their family. Episode 2. When Tanjiro and Nezuko come upon a demon living in a neighborhood temple, they are on their way to Mount Sagiri. They are able to control it, but he is reluctant to kill it, so he lets it burn in the sun instead. He encounters Seikonji Urokodaki at this point, who reprimands him for lack of commitment and informs him of what would occur if Nezuko decides to kill a human. After giving Nezuko some time to heal, Urokodaki challenges Tanjiro to ascend and descend the treacherous and trap-filled Mount Sagiri to demonstrate his mettle. Tanjiro completes the challenge successfully, and after remembering the letter from Gayu asking him to teach Tanjiro how to fight demons, Urokodaki welcomes him as a pupil. Episode 3. Tanjiro learns from Urokodaki how to join the Demon Slayer Corps and is informed that he must make it through the final selection to be accepted as one. Tanjiro undergoes a 6-month rigorous training program on the mountain where he learns about the total concentration and water breathing methods, among other things. Urokodaki assigns Tanjiro one more duty to chop a massive rock so that he can participate in final selection when all the information has been provided. When he is unexpectedly assaulted by a fellow swordsman named Sabito, who berates him for his flaws after another 6 months of futility, he begins to lose faith. Makomo, another swordsman, assists in Tanjiro's further training and reveals that they were also Urokodaki's pupils. After another 6 months of preparation, Tanjiro and Sabito engage in one final fight, during which Tanjiro punches Sabito. It is discovered that his cut has really split the rock in half as the two congratulate him on his accomplishments and disappear in a haze. Episode 4. Tanjiro's accomplishments of slicing the rock astounds Urokodaki, who congratulates him and urges him to return from final selection alive. He comes with a group of others who share his desire to become demon slayers, and they discover they must endure 7 days among the demons imprisoned in the mountains. He runs upon the hand demon during one of his bouts, a huge, hideous demon who, according to what he knows, kills all of Urokodaki's children, including Sabito and Makomo. Tanjiro manages to overcome his barriers and successfully slice the demon's neck and his water breathing despite the demon nearly overpowering him and keeping its neck protected. Episode 5. After beheading the hand demon, Tanjiro notices a fragrance of grief emanating from the demon, praying for its rebirth in a better life. Tanjiro also asks for the souls of Urokodaki's former students to be laid to rest. Only 3 other people have made it through the 7-day final selection, as Tanjiro discovers afterwards. Tanjiro rejoins Urokodaki and Nezuko at Urokodaki's after getting the ores required to craft their swords. Shortly later, Haganezuka, a swordsmith, shows up to give Tanjiro his sword, shocking everyone by having it become black. Soon after, his Kasugai Crow comes and gives him the information he needs to complete his first assignment, which is to look into a town where young girls are being abducted. Episode 6. Tanjiro visits the village in the northwest to look into the matter of the missing girls. There he meets Kazumi, whose lately disappeared fiancé has left him in despair. Before intervening to save her, Tanjiro waits until night, when the monster makes its move against its next victim. He learns that the swamp demon can make puddles, which enables him to see his clones emerge from everywhere in addition to having 2 more copies of himself. Tanjiro is overwhelmed while attempting to slay the demons and defend Kazumi and the girl at the same time. Nezuko steps in and surprises the swamp demon by revealing that a demon is within him. Episode 7. Nezuko stands guard over Kazumi and the girl while Tanjiro battles the swamp demon and his clones. Tanjiro leaps into the marsh where two of the clones are hiding and uses his whirlpool form to vanquish them. Until Tanjiro shows up and corners the last clone, Nezuko is engaged in combat with it. He inquires of the demon about Muzon Kibutsuchi, the original demon who has the power to transform mortals into demons. But the demon is too scared of Muzan to divulge any information. Before heading to his next assignment in Tokyo's Asakusa, Tanjiro comforts Kazumi on the loss of his fiancée after dispatching the demon. As soon as he gets there, Tanjiro notices a fragrance that was in his home the day his family was slain. He follows it to a man who is actually Muzan himself in disguise, together with his wife and daughter. Muzan transforms a bystander into a monster in a throng as he is being confronted to get away. Episode 8. Tanjiro fights the monster while Muzan flees, but not before hearing his promise to look for him once again. Muzan assigns two demons, Susumaru and Yahaba, to find and destroy the dreaded adversary from his past, who had donned the identical Hanafuda earrings he had seen on Tanjiro. In the meanwhile, Yushiro reveals that she is a doctor with plans to overthrow Muzan, as well as saving Tanjiro from a monster named Tamayo. The strange Yushiro brings Tanjiro and Nezuko to Tamayo's place, where they have a conversation in which she reveals that she might be able to develop a treatment that will prevent people from turning into demons, but she will need blood samples from demons Muzan has had direct contact with in order to do so. When a group of Tamaras commanded by Susumaru and Yahaba unexpectedly attack the four, Tanjiro decides to take on this mission. Episode 9. Susumaru destroys the concealed mansion with the help of her potent Tamari, revealing that she and Yahaba are members of the 12 Kazuki, a group of formidable demons that work closely with Muzan. As Yushiro regenerates, she uses one of her Tamari to cut off his head. Tanjiro scrambles to avoid them. In order to telekinetically manipulate Susumaru's Tamari, Yahaba is employing arrows, which Yushiro assists him in spotting. Yahaba is attacked by Nezuko, but the siblings are forced to switch opponents. Yushiro joins the fight and uses his blood demon art to defeat Susumaru. Yahaba initially defeats Tanjiro, however Tanjiro remembers his training and, despite being exhausted, releases a mix of forms to close the gap and behead the demon by utilizing Yahaba's arrows' direction in his benefit. Episode 11. Tanjiro prevents Zenitsu Agatsuma, the demon slayer, from disturbing the woman. He admits that because of the frailty and lack of will, he had wanted to perish during final selection. Shiochi and Teruko inform him that their brother has been abducted by a monster who is inside. He walks in with Zenitsu, who is hesitant and leaves Nezuko's box outside. The ghostly chambers then divide them as they move to the rhythm of a drum. The strongest demon in the home is detected by Tanjiro and Teruko as a huge one. Zenitsu and Shiochi come see another demon slayer wearing a boar mask as they search for a way out. Tanjiro sees the demon perform the blood demon art. The pig-headed demon slayer approaches at the same moment and prepares to strike. Episode 12. Tanjiro and Zenitsu Agatsuma get separated inside the home, where the rooms rotate each time the Zumi is played. As Zenitsu leads Shiochi around the home, he is paralyzed with terror and sadness due to the absence of Tanjiro. In the meanwhile, Tanjiro encounters the house's owner, the demon who played Zumi, and a strange-looking guy with a boar's head mask. Episode 13. Tanjiro defeats Kyogai in a bloody struggle to the end. Zenitsu, who has already fled, is waiting for him outside the home, but it's at that point that he notices the peculiar scene in front of him. A damaged Zenitsu clutching a box containing Nezuko in his arms, while a man wearing a boar's head mask is blocking the door with two Nichiren swords drawn. Episode 14. Despite the taboo against demon slayers injuring one another, Tanjiro breaks the rebel slayer's ribs in an attempt to stop him, but the rebel slayer fights back. The slayer exposes himself as Insuki Hashabira, while having a powerful and muscular body, showing a feminine and delicate face. He passes out but later awakens to find the others, burying the deceased within the mansion. Then Tanjiro's Kasugi Crow tells them to start going down the mountain. The three depart from the siblings and head to a home. Zenitsu questions Tanjiro about his motivation for carrying a demon, and Inosuke explains that the sole reason he participated in final selection was to test out his skills on demons. Meanwhile, Nezuko unexpectedly emerges from the box herself. Episode 15. Following a full recovery, Tanjiro's crow alerts the group to their next task on Mount Natagumo. However, when darkness falls, Zenitsu feels frightened and becomes uneasy. They discover a second demon slayer, but they observe him being abruptly drawn back into the mountain. They see Murata, another demon slayer, and notice that the forest is covered with spiderwebs. 10 of them, he says, were dispatched to the mountain. The three discover they are being controlled by the webs tied to them as the demon slayers attack them. A small pale demon confronts them and orders them to leave his family immediately or Mother would murder them. Inosuke finds a demon by using his beast breathing to determine its whereabouts. 2 Hashiras are sent from the Demon Slayer Corps. Episode 16. Inosuke and Tanjiro fight the Demon Slayers who are entrapped in spiderwebs. They proceed further into the mountain after cutting the threads and breaking the webs. The threads get thicker as they move deeper into the forest, and those they are in charge of begin to move in ways that are not humanly imaginable. It won't be simple to stop the Demon Slayers without harming them, but then Tanjiro makes a definite move. Episode 17. One of the 12 Kazuki, a direct subordinate of Muzan Kibutsuchi, is here somewhere. When Tanjiro slays the mother spider demon of Mount Natagumo, he learns that a demon might hold the key to turning Nezuko back into a human is somewhere in this very forest. With the battered Inosuke in tow, he heads deeper into the forest. Meanwhile, Zenitsu trudges formally through the woods only to encounter a spider with a human face. Episode 18. Fighting against the father spider demon of Mount Natagumo are Tanjiro and Inosuke. Tanjiro launches an assault, but the demon's overpowering might causes him to be flung aside. He finds the sister spider demon being tormented by the young demon Ruai after landing close to the river. Tanjiro is incensed when Ruai refers to their ties of dread and hatred as a family's bond. So begins Ruai and Tanjiro's conflict. Episode 19. On Mount Natagumo, the Demon Slayer Corps Hashira's swordsmen have arrived. The water Hashira Gayu Tamioka kills the father spider demon in a single blow. Inosuke challenges Gayu to a battle after witnessing an impressive demonstration of swordsmanship by a person far superior than himself. Zenitsu, meanwhile, is being poisoned throughout his body as he lays close to passing out. Shinobu Kochu, aka the insect Hashira, suddenly materializes in front of him. Episode 20. Tanjiro prepares himself for inevitable death as Ruai attacks him with his blood demon art. He suddenly recalls his father's dance, the Kagura, as his life passes before his eyes, and he launches a brand new, non-water breathing onslaught dance of Hinokami Kagura. He utilizes the new move to cut off Ruai's head, knowing the demon would strike him simultaneously. Someone emerges in front of Tanjiro as he creeps near Nezuko, who is lying on the ground bleeding profusely. Episode 21. Ruai is reminded of her own experience as she sees Tanjiro attempt to shield Nezuko even as he is collapsing. He was once a sickly child, but after encountering Muzan Kibutsuchi, who gave him a share of his blood, he transformed into a demon. His own parents, however, attempted to assassinate him once he transforms into a demon. He has been looking for a family ever since, searching for a bond he can never expect to obtain. Episode 22. Tanjiro and Nezuko are brought to the Demon Slayer Corps main office after the combat. This is the location of the Hashira meeting, which will be attended by the Corps' most formidable swordsmen, the Hashiras, and leader Ubuyashiki. Tanjiro receives criticism from the Hashiras for defying the Demon Slayer Corps by defending a demon. Sanemi Shinazagawa, the Wind Hashira, then lifts his sword in Nezuko's direction. Episode 23. The Demon Slayer Corps' commander, Ubuyashiki, at last makes an appearance in front of Tanjiro. He promises him that Tanjiro and Nezuko will be able to join the Corps. The Hashiras, however, find it difficult to immediately accept this choice. Sanemi Shinazagawa, the Wind Hashira, slices his own arm and mocks Nezuko with his blood in an effort to force her to reveal her real nature as a demon. Episode 24. Tanjiro and Inosuke participate in rehabilitation after having had enough time to heal, but they leave the sessions drained and shattered, which frightens Zenitsu. Despite being initially determined, Zenitsu and Inosuke gave up after failing to defeat Kanao, leaving Tanjiro by alone. Sumi, Kaio, and Naho, the females from the Butterfly Mansion, expose Kanao's usage of a distinct method called total concentration. Shinobu makes an appearance, praising his spirit and giving him her hope of harmony between humans and demons. She usually smiles, but Tanjiro wonders whether she is upset. Shinobu strives to acquire her sweet disposition. Tanjiro reflects on the griefs of losing his family and his pledge to Nezuko after hearing her confidence in him. Episode 25. Tanjiro strives to maintain his total concentration breathing methods throughout the day while receiving rehabilitation therapy at the Butterfly Mansion. Though Kanao, a swordswoman in his class who is instructing him, first has him powerless, he gradually but definitely starts to gain the upper hand. Zenitsu and Inosuke resume their training after observing Tanjiro's dedication to training every day. While Tanjiro and the others are focused on their recovery training, Muzan Kibutsuji, the Supreme Master of Demons, collects the 12 Kizuki's lower ranks. The demons are getting ready to take action as well, as the period of training comes to an end. Tanjiro has developed to the point where he can compete equally with Kanao. Right at that moment, he learns about a new task from his Kasugi Crow. Well, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to many such videos. Thanks for watching, and take care!